I don't pay my TV licence. I haven't done so for many, many years. And there are many, many reasons for that. For example, the BBC's blatant political bias, the porky pies they tell regarding certain conflicts, and the cultural appropriation of Caucasian culture. And I haven't even mentioned Gary Lineker, so there's hundreds of reasons, literally hundreds. And so the latest reason by the BBC for me not to pay my TV licence and to encourage you all to ditch your TV licence if you're still paying it is the new series of Doctor Who. Now, the last series of Doctor Who bombed really badly. The ratings were very, very low. And it was very, very low because it became very, very woke. And as we all know, if you go woke, you go broke, so nobody watched it. People are fed up with having political correctness shoved down their throats. Okay, so the last Doctor Who was a woman. That really didn't bother me. But they made her a woke woman, and that bothered me. Now, not one's known for learning from their mistakes. The BBC decided, in all their wisdom, to make the next Doctor Who a woke ethnic minority. It wouldn't bother me if Doctor Who was an ethnic minority, but it bothers me that it's a woke ethnic minority. All Doctor Who has to do is travel back and forth in time in his TARDIS, and TARDIS stands for Time and Relative Dimension in Space. I know I'm a bit of a spotter. I'm still a huge fan of the old Doctor Who. My two favourites were number 4 and number 3, John Pertwee and Tom Baker respectively. And that's all they did. They fought monsters, travelled back and forth in time, and had a laugh doing it. The sets were crap, the costumes were worse, the acting was questionable, but I really enjoyed it. The Doctor wasn't woke. He wasn't seeped in wokey-cokey political correctness, but he was a humanitarian who didn't like using guns. What was wrong with that? And there was never ever a political message either. Doctor Who existed to scare kids and make nerds wank off. But now Doctor Who, thanks to the woke BBC, exists mainly to accommodate the insufferable woke bandits that live amongst us, who get offended at everything, who blame the Western world for all the world's problems and have hijacked free speech. It's them lot, basically. And my God, does Doctor Who cater for them big time. And so, because the ratings of the last Doctor Who plummeted and it was rubbish, they brought back David Tennant. And just for the record, I'm not a fan of any of the new Doctor Whos. None of them. But they brought him back and they made him more woke than ever, because now he's all about pronouns, and in a sneaky way, they've managed to slip in his sexuality in there. And if you think that was bad enough, the BBC also went so far as to change the ethnicity of one of Britain's most famous historical people. Now, as you all know, all the educated ones amongst us, Sir Isaac Newton was a Caucasian Englishman. He was a polymath and he discovered gravity. Now, here is what he looked like according to artists at the time. But the BBC, in all their woke wisdom, have done away with that and they've turned him into this. And this not only is cultural appropriation, but this is appropriating history. And I'm not really okay with it because the wokey-cokies have kicked off a lot recently regarding the right people playing the right parts in films and theatre. For example, you can only have a gay person play a gay character. You can only have a disabled person play a disabled character. And thanks to Game of Thrones' Peter Dinklage, vertically challenged people, and I'm saying that with all sincerity because I don't know the correct term to describe them. They can't even get jobs now acting, let alone them being the correct people to play themselves on screen or theatre. And the same goes with ethnic historical characters. You can only have ethnic actors and actresses play them. But when it comes to Caucasian historical characters, it's open season. And I put this on Twitter over the weekend, and they had the usual woke lot come on there giving their reasons why it was okay. Well, one of them said because Isaac Newton was a side character in the main story of this particular Doctor Who episode, it was okay, you could have anyone play him. But you know damn well, if this was an ethnic historical side character, they'd be kicking off. And as for poor Davros, the evil creator of the Daleks, he's no longer in his wheelchair-like device because the writer of Doctor Who decided in his wisdom to make Davros now an able-bodied man with a slightly evil look to him. And the reasoning he gave was that he didn't want... how can I even... my God. He didn't want people to think that everyone in a wheelchair was evil like Davros, because Davros is evil. So, I mean, good God. Yes, so that's where we are now. I've never, ever, ever thought that all people in wheelchairs were evil because a fictional character, alien type thing, was in a wheelchair type half Dalek mobility scooter, whatever it was he was in. Never. Have you? I haven't. And the only guy I ever knew personally who was in a wheelchair, he was witty, smart, funny as hell. He was kind and an all-round nice guy. He's dead now, God rest him, but I never ever once associated Davros with anyone who was disabled. Ever. This is just how these people think. It must be their warped minds at the BBC and the writer of Doctor Who to think that all people in wheelchairs or disabled people are evil simply because Davros exists. And I can't believe I'm having to explain this. And for the writer of Doctor Who to sit there on screen, there's a video on this on YouTube. It's everywhere. His screwed up reasoning for this is just it's a window into the mindset of the wokey cokies. It's utterly bizarre. And I think it's pretty obvious that there are a few people at the BBC with a hatred and so much disdain for the British people, culture, history, languages, that they're okay with it and they think it's fine. Well, it's not okay. It's not fine. People are starting to wake up to this nonsense. And it's one of the many, many reasons people aren't paying their television licence fees. And judging by the ratings of the latest Doctor Who episodes, not even David Tennant can save it. And I really hope it sinks Doctor Who. And there we go, that's my video. I hope you like. Please let me know what you think in the comments. And if you agree with what I say, then by all means, please sub to my channel, share my stuff everywhere. Or even better, start your own YouTube channels, voice your own opinions because they're just as valuable as mine. And other YouTubers who do this on a daily basis. And the more of us there are, the better. And there we go. So until the next time, have a great day and Roger Trout.